Hi, welcome. How are you? Get comfy, grab a tea, grab whatever you need, and join me as we tune in. As we tune in to the astrology of the full moon happening on Tuesday, March 7th. This is a full moon in the sign of Leo with the sun in Aquarius. So grab what you need and let's tune in. This moon is the last full moon before we transition into the spring equinox, into that season of spring. This is like that final deep, deep release from the winter season. And it's in this beautiful and very powerful, potent energy of the sign of Leo. The sun being in Aquarius, the water bearer, that which gives life, that which gives truth, that which gives voice, and that which is strongly connected to the truth that not a lot of people want to hear on a day-to-day basis. Aquarius being an air sign, but working with the element of water. Aquarian energy is very unique. It is often explained as being the weirdo. It is futuristic. It is hopeful. It's humanitarian at its heart center with the water bearer of life. And it's this force. And we have it with Leo energy today, tomorrow, right now, and Wednesday. And this Leo energy is that lion heart. It's very solar plexus and heart focused about being courageous enough to go forward in a way that is authentic to you. It is fearlessness. It is pride. It is being seen and loving being seen, the center of attention, not from an egotistical point, but letting your true energy of that fire, that vitality, that shine, show others what's possible when we step outside of the shackles of projections and society. So by bringing these two together, a full moon is this climax of energies to illuminate all of the elements in our life, in our energy, in our physical reality, in the emotional body, and the spiritual body, to bring those things to a head so we can release or step into the next phase with a deeper sense of clarity of what we need or what's being asked of us from our soul. And until we have that consistent harmony, which I think is always a work in progress between our soul and our ego, this is always a beautiful time to just recenter and reconnect from the heart and be grounded and realistic and soft and playful. Because this full moon energy, like I said, is the climax. It's the sun and moon in opposition. We want to hold on to something. We're afraid of letting go of something. Relationships, our home life, the life that we are creating is always a focus with the new and the full moon. And because the moon is full, it's illuminated. And the moon represents so many things. But one of the things that it represents is illusions and fears. So when the sun, the masculine body, shines light on those fears and illusions in the feminine, in the darkness, it can be really hard to hold that idea or that awareness, rather, of what it is and what the actions that we can take, that we are responsible for, to move through that with purpose. So this is a really powerful, powerful time as we come towards the final phase of winter, even though it may not feel like that or look like that outside. Energetically, we are approaching a changing of the wheel, a turning of the wheel. And this is that final purge. And, you know, when we think about spring and this idea of rebirth, we think we're going to come out and be like, I'm ready. And we have the golden cloak and we're shining and we're eager. But most of the time, it's like a slow, grueling crawl because anything else that is holding us back or in the way or an obstacle or a fear or anything that's there, we need to overcome to be reborn. So when I say this is that final purging, it's starting to open the floodgates of the transformation that's in front of you or that is becoming within you. Okay. So this full moon is kicking my butt. It's kicking my butt. A lot of you know I was down with a migraine for almost the whole week last week, and I still have the lingering headache where I go to bed and I wake up and it still sits there. So I'm not even fully out of it yet. And I've been sitting with so much because anytime we get knocked down through some sort of sickness or physical injury, we can't really do much and we're just stuck with our thoughts. Or we're stuck with meditation and holding that truth of what is and what could be or what is not by choice. So I've been going through it, to say the least. And yeah, so let's take a moment, let's meditate, let's connect to this Aquarian and Leo energy, and then we will get into the natal chart. I pulled 2 cards already just to see, and it's like right on point with everything that I've been feeling. So I'm really looking forward to just sharing more with you. This Neptune and Pisces energy is just a vibe, and we will get into that. So let's just sit with our palms on our knees, hands on our knees, palms facing up. And let's actually do Gyan Mudra today. So let's bring that thumb tip and index finger to touch, okay? All the fingers are connected. Palms turn up. This is like Rafiki in The Lion King, right? But we want our fingers connected, okay? And engaged. Oh, I'm just going to turn my notifications off on my phone real quick. Okay. So Gyan Mudra. Palms up, resting on the knees. Close your eyes. Connect to breath. Think about that lower abdomen expanding forward and back and to the sides as you inhale. Inhale, lower belly grows in every direction, goes up through the rib cage, opens, expands, up to the heart. Exhale, soften. Inhale, draw the energy down into the belly, up through the diaphragm, up to the heart. Exhale, relax. As you allow your awareness to drift into the idea and the concept and the truth that is oneness, that is this inherent connection to all things in this universe. All dimensions, everything. That we are one with everything. And yet we are sovereign in our choices. Keep allowing your breath to deepen, to expand, to slow, and just listen to my voice as your body relaxes more and more. As your breath slows more and more. As you begin to open to oneness. As we carry a gentle awareness to the sun, not to call in, not to bring in, just to experience and gently explore a connection. To feel the energy of the sun, the warmth, the fire, the light, the growth, the passing of time. To feel that expansive energy in the constellation of Aquarius. To allow the waters of truth, the knowledge and wisdom of the Spirit to flow freely through you, through the waters of your body, the blood of your body, the membranes of the cells to flow freely, hearing the voice of your soul, resonating through all parts of you. as we connect again to the lunar energy, to Grandmother Moon, to feel the truth of her, the strength within her to hold all of the emotions of life, all of the emotions. This means the joy and the ecstasy as much as the pain and the fear. To feel her connection, her fluidity with the waters of the earth, the tides, the pulling, the power that she holds, instilling within her the energy of Leo, of this brave lion heart, this truth that flows within us, of this fearlessness when we are our authentic self. Receive the golden and the silver energy from the moon and the sun, only in their highest truth, in the true energy of light. Casting out all mock energy, casting out all false energy or projections or personas. Only feeling that true light flow through you. The golden and the silver light of the masculine and feminine polarities that flow through creative earth, creative universe. Spiraling down your spine, spiraling through your entire body, dancing, merging, harmonizing, bringing you to your fullest, most authentic, most integral, most inspired self. Feel these connections in the DNA, in the heart space, in the blood, in the bone marrow, in the spleen, the spiral, the helix, recalibrating you to your most authentic truth in the highest light of the highest good, of the highest truth, of the highest source that is always available to you. Only the true light flows through you at this time. Feel it, become it, the true light of consciousness. Bring your palms onto your heart, right hand underneath the left. I am the divine expression of truth and integrity. I am the divine expression of truth and integrity. I am the divine expression of truth and integrity. So let it be. So that it is. I am that I am. I am. I am. I am that I am. I am. I am. I am my authentic truth. I walk this life every moment in my authentic truth. I am free of all past, of all darkness, of all energies and entities. All pathways are closed from which they came as they expel from my body. I am filled with the divine light of truth and authenticity. I am the divine expression of truth and authenticity. Inhale into the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more times. And slowly come back. Take a few stretches that your body is asking for. Excuse me, and welcome back. How was that meditation for you? What came up for you? Did you feel it anywhere in your body? I did. My right shoulder blade is still processing. I understand what is going on for myself. So if you want to pause and journal after that meditation and come back, please do so. If not, continue with me, and I'm going to pull up the natal chart and we'll start looking at some of these energies that are communicating with us, affecting, inspiring, changing, because we are one and one is all. So let us look at it together. So we have the natal chart this is the chart for tomorrow being the full moon, okay? Leo just moves like a little bit. It was down here today and it's moved up, okay? So the moon is here, down this little crescent moon, 25.9 degrees in the constellation of Leo. So anytime that the progression of the planet through the constellation in itself is a journey. When it comes into the sign, 1 degree, 2 degree, 10 degree, we're just at the beginning. The energy's starting to come, starting to bubble, but it's at 25 degrees, meaning it's on its way to change into the next sign, being Virgo, which is a very powerful place to go after this. So with this full moon being at 25 degrees, it's like we've known the last few days, things have been happening that we're like, or like today, Monday and Sunday, I should say, maybe even Saturday. And depending how you are, it might be a week. But we're starting to understand the depth of certain aspects that are really dictating either the amount or limited amount of leadership that we are actively participating in our life. And we have it with the sun up here in Aquarius. So that sun in Aquarius, again, at 22 degrees. So it's in that last third of the constellation, showing us that we know we cannot live without being our true self, that there are aspects of ourself that we need to remember. We need to dance freely. We need to do the things that we enjoy that other people might not understand. And that might be dance class, that might be archery, that might be a humanitarian project, that might be learning something new, that might be dressing yourself. Again, with that Leo energy, we have this idea of expression in everyday life, of wearing what you want to wear, dressing how you want to dress, doing your hair how you want to do it. All of these components are part of reclaiming this freeness that's invited with Aquarian and Leo energy. So you might be butting heads with that part of you or that old self that's like, well, no. Or maybe the new self that we are right now is actually missing some freedom from the past, of the self that was younger, that didn't have as many moments of doubt or fear, or wore what they wanted to wear because they, that just was what it was. So maybe it's actually integrating some of who we used to be to become who we are becoming, right? There's this dancing of the past that's happening right now. And of course, we have Saturn in Aquarius, right? 5 degrees. So Saturn stays in a sign for roughly 3 years, right? just shy of 3 years. And so Saturn's just the beginning of its journey through Aquarius. And Saturn is the anchor of time, of truth, of karma, of hard lessons, so that we can become our free self. So we can walk the path that we are meant to walk in this life, and share openly, and share our gifts, and share our voice, and just share who we are, because that is the gift. Who we are is the gift. When we're in our full expressed self, that is the gift. Because that also lets everyone else be themselves. Lets everybody else start to take off their masks and their cloaks and become who they are at the core, in their integrity, in their authenticity, in their truth. So Saturn in Aquarius, there's also all these components about, on the global aspect, what this means, because Saturn is a planet that governs more people, because of how far away it is and how long it takes to do one rotation around the sun. So it doesn't just govern us as individuals, it's governing the entire system of humanity. Okay. So it's like 30 years, I'm pretty sure. I think Jupiter's 12 and Saturn's 30. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is, because Pluto's like 280 years to do a full rotation. So this Saturn energy is very powerful, and it's very powerful in Aquarius. And this spiritual awakening that the world is experiencing is being heightened as Neptune is coming into Pisces. And again, Neptune's going to take longer than Saturn because it's farther away. So it's going to be in Pisces for quite some time. And Neptune is actually the ruler of Pisces. So Neptune and Pisces are actually at home together, just like when Saturn was in Capricorn. But Neptune and Piscean energy is very mystical, very cleansing, very awakening. They're water elements, water signs. Okay. Pisces energy, it gets this vibe for being wishy-washy, emotional. That's kind of like Cancer, but Cancer is very much emotional. And Piscean energy is very much mystical. And we have Neptune, right? The Triton. We have Jupiter. We have Chiron, and we have Venus, all in Pisces. In Aquarius, you have Saturn, Mercury, and the Sun. Okay. So with Neptune, Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus in Pisces, we have this expansion of the self, this expansion of the water body, of the emotional side, of the psychic side, of the feminine side, the receptivity and creative aspects of the water. Water is life. Water is that which nourishes all. You cannot have a life without water. We are grown in the womb in an embryonic sac filled with liquid. So with Jupiter is this beautiful energy of expansion and pushing beyond that which we already are. Chiron is the wounded healer. So there's a lot of healing, especially because Saturn has changed signs. So we have that kind of reverb energy trickling through about clearing up all this karma from the past. And the Chiron energy is like, we're doing it. We're doing it. We are really getting to the root of certain behaviors or pains or traumas, or however you want to look at it in this day and age. You can go on social media and find everybody talking about all the trauma, all the nervous system stuff. It comes down to things that we've experienced that created such an impact that they shifted who we are. And so this is shifting, not like, I want to say back into who we truly are, but it's like beyond that, because we integrate and we learn from all the experiences. And Venus is all relationships in the water aspect. So this life-giving force of clearing and purifying and releasing the old relationships that caused harm and pain and imprints of suffering, to step into this new type of relationship that is vulnerable and free and open and loving with the self, with others, with all things. And because it's that Neptune and Pisces is coming in, it's really opening people's floodgates to the truth that science is starting to prove what the mystics have known forever. Everything has an electrical charge, right? Everything is a current. And what is current if not energy? Everything has one. That's why it's actually in the physical dimension, because everything that's formed has created I'm going to say a crystallized structure that depicts the truth of what we're seeing. But at the base of everything, it has a molecular structure that's creating energy, that is held together by energy, by its negative and positive charges, just like a battery, right? So the world is starting to remember, or starting to believe in the old ways again, in a new way, because we were taken away from the old ways and pushed into a very structured box of what was acceptable, of what was accepted practices in regards to our faith, our religion, our beliefs, our bodies. And Neptune in Pisces is like, remember, right? And we're seeing all the things that they can do now with modern science in regards to like studies on the brain and psychedelics, and pranayama has turned into this whole other thing of like breath work, and they like dilute it all. But so I have some push and pull when it comes to using the modern examples to prove the historic truth, wisdom, because it's actually like it's dividing it in two still and saying, look, this is true now. Look, we found the way. Look, we know what's right. We know how to fix this now. When in reality, like the shamans, the yogis, the traditional Chinese medicine, the herbalists, like the witches, those people knew. The indigenous people knew, right? The tribes who live in the Amazon jungle and across Africa who still live disconnected, no, right? So I have a problem when it comes to using the modern medicine, modern technology, modern science to say, look, it's right, because it's dismissing the validity of what people knew to be true because of their connection to that oneness, to that mystic, to that understanding that everything is here for a reason and everything has a function to support everything else, because that's why everything is here. Because it's been an evolution of a microorganism into this, into this, into this, into this, into this, into this, right? So this stepping into your full self on this full moon is not just like, okay, yeah, I want to do this. It's challenging all of the beliefs that we have believed. It's challenging the experiences that we've had that have created a specific imprint that creates a certain behavior within the way we function every day. It's challenging all of that, because that in itself, it inhibits us from being our divinely expressed, authentic self. So we're coming out of winter, and this is a big, big, heavy hitter. And there's other components. Obviously, we still have Mars in Taurus. And this Mars in Taurus is actually connected to both Neptune in Pisces, the Sun in Aquarius, and all the way over to Leo, Moon in Leo. Okay, so we have this triangle happening between Mars, Sun, Moon. So angers from the past if we're looking at Saturn changing signs, Neptune changing signs, this is a big turning of the wheel moment where the injustices of the past might be coming up in the form of rage so that we do it different. Rage is a messenger. Rage says, hey, either this person just crossed a boundary, or hey, you're still living small. And I'm still living small. I have my own journey with this moon, and it is kicking my butt. In the next 2 weeks, it's going to be all releasing, which is going to be very interesting as we go through Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, right? Until we come to Pisces. So we have this very interesting journey ahead of releasing perfectionism, of stepping into balance, to honoring our darkness and our sexual desires, and processing emotions and taking action on what we want, and grounding all of that into a new way of being. You know, so there's so much going on with this moon. I love it. Tie it all in to the winter season. Come on, like, this is blowing my mind the more I talk about it. Okay, so let's take a quick look at, okay, so again, Uranus and Aries, we've talked about this for months because Uranus takes a long time to go through a sign. I think it might be like 12 years in one sign. I could be totally wrong on that. Have to look. But that's having a good conversation with Mercury in Aquarius and the moon in Leo. So that Uranus energy in Aries is like rebelling. It's take no prisoners, like, go for it. You blast through the road ahead, right? And it's like, okay, like the sun and this energy of Uranus are like, okay, like, we are ready. We are done with the life. The life has changed. I was just talking to a girlfriend this morning about, creating new dreams. And it's like, once we achieve something, it's not necessarily like striving for more, always needing more, but our ideas change, our ideals change, our values shift. And, life is all about experiencing it to the fullest. So what does that mean to you, and what is next for you? And that sun in Aquarius, Uranus in Aries, and moon in Leo is really supporting that time to really ask yourself, do I still want what I used to want? Do I want something different? Did I get what I used to want? And do I want something different? There's a lot of this starting the turning of what seeds are you planting, and are they based off of a way of looking at things that is no longer relevant, right? Jupiter in Chiron and Venus in Pisces have this really powerful energy that's happening right now that is kind of like pushing us through the barriers, moving us out of the barriers, and really seeing the impact of the previous wounds and how those can become medicine and how we can liberate ourselves from those. Aquarian, again, like Mercury, Saturn, Sun, all in Aquarius. This is karma, communication, expression of self, doing it different. Okay, so we're gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop the share and go through the cards with you that I pulled, and how beautiful they are, given everything that we just talked about together, about a new direction and the time and space it really needs to honor that process of discovering that new direction and getting your nervous system ready to handle that new direction. So the first card I pulled from the traditional tarot is the Hanged Man. Okay. And this is number, what was that, 12. This is number 3. This is change. This is inspired change that is creating a new foundation before we come to number 4. So the Hanged Man represents introspection, isolation, reflective time, journaling. of going within yourself instead of looking outside of yourself, not getting pulled into the different directions that other people are going into, but taking time to really spend with yourself, ask yourself deep questions, maybe go into the philosophy of things. This is the story of the hanged man, is when Odin, if you're looking at Norse mythology, and Odin went and hung himself upside down on the tree for 9 days to gain certain wisdoms and things, like changes perspective, right? If you're hanging upside down, everything changes, right? All of a sudden, the lakes are on the ceiling, in the sky, and the clouds are on the bottom. So this stepping back into the self to gain a new perspective, to change that, that's it. Spending time with yourself, not looking outside yourself for answers, and spending some time in nature to help support that. And the next one we got, which I haven't used these cards in a long time, but they've been calling to me recently, the Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. And this is the Direction Guardian. Right? And you can see there's even a lion head, there's the bull head, the eagle, and the angel. Right? So this is Direction Guardian, choosing your path. And if you list like everything that we just talked about the new cycles that are starting, the transitions that have happened with the planets and the constellations that don't spend a few months or anything there, it's a significant amount of time in each of the constellations, and one of those outer planets shift. That Leo energy of the moon is remembering that you have free will. You are in control. You choose. If it's not in your control, you let that shit go. Right? What is in your control? What is in your control that you can do something about? And the introspection, taking time before we just jump into something new. Like right now, there's kind of this like, oh, I need to do something different. I need to do it. I really want to do it, because that's kind of like the awakening of spring, where I have this integration of winter. So it's like integrate the winter, integrate what you've been through, integrate all the things that have happened, and then choose your direction, right? Don't just jump. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to go here. Take time, pause, take a little bit of time to chew on everything, and then move into that direction. So thanks so much, everybody. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Happy full moon. And let me know how this lands, how it resonates. And yeah, it's a really beautiful time to be here and to take, but it's a lot. So definitely recommend taking time to take care of yourself and do things that you enjoy, and to be with yourself in meditation and work with nature as a supportive system. So